Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Greg Michalowski from ForexLive.com. This is a Kickstart video where I take a look at three of the major currency pairs: the euro versus US dollar, the dollar versus yen, and the sterling versus US dollar. Today's date is February 27, 2024. Let's get started. Stocks are modestly higher with the Nasdaq leading the way. The US yields are lower with the 10-year yield now down about 3 basis points. And the US dollar is lower overall, but the ranges and the price action is very limited. Give you an idea, the euro versus US dollar has a 24 pip trading range. The average is 57 pips. The sterling versus US dollar has only a 25 pip trading range. The average is 75 pips over the last month. And the dollar versus the Swiss is only 23 basis pips versus 58 pips. So that's very narrow. And that is indicative of a market that doesn't know which way it wants to go. So taking a look at the euro versus US dollar, I said I'd take a look at the three major currency pairs. We're seeing, this is the 4-hour chart, we're seeing up and down price action. The high price in trading here today moved up to test the 38.2% retracement of the most recent move to the downside in this pair from the high price that we saw at the end of December to the low price that we saw in February. That 38.2% retracement comes in at 1.0864, and the high prices in trading here today moved right up to that area and found willing sellers against that level. So that is a ceiling. Now, admittedly, last week we did move above that level on a spike higher, but quickly reversed back down and stayed below that level. So the 38.2% retracement is an important level for the euro versus US dollar to get to and through. If it can, then that opens the door for further upside momentum. I'll probably move this up over here to the high price from last week near 1.0887. Get above that level, and then we look toward the 50% retracement. Now, if we stay below this level, then we could see a rotation back down. We just as likely have a rotation back down toward the 200-day moving average and the 200-bar moving average on the 4-hour chart. Those are these two moving averages right through here. The 200-day moving average is a straight line that's right on the high of this swing area. So that's a key area on the downside. So key area on the top side right here, key area on the downside right here, and we sit in between those levels right here, more toward the upside, I guess, but we'll see how this goes. So flip a coin, folks. That's what we're at with the euro versus US dollar. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's take a look at the dollar versus yen. And we are seeing a rotation to the downside today after the run to the upside yesterday got above this swing area through here where we had some swing highs and swing lows going back in time right through here, but could not just get up to the high price that we saw right here at the 150.88 level. The high price came in between those two levels, and we started to rotate back to the downside and then close below the swing area. And that helped to push the price out lower in trading here today. That the initial low price in the Asian, early European set, I guess that's the Asian session, came down, tested the rising 100-hour moving average. We did that on trading yesterday as well, but could not, and then had a modest bounce. Before finally breaking below that 100-hour moving average. That opened the door for further downside momentum, and we've been trading below the 200-hour moving average over the last 5 or so hours in the European session. If I were to take a look at the 4-hour chart here, this yellow area right through here represents, I gotta go back even further here. If you take a look at this yellow area, it goes all the way back to this period, back through October, November, and maybe into December here. Where it provided either support or resistance before moving to the downside. We returned back above that level in trading not last week, but the week before. We had one little move below that level right here. And then on this day right here, we did find in trading last week, we found support against the low of that swing area, and the price moved higher. So moving back within this yellow area here between 149.70 and 150.15 would have traders looking down toward the 200, the lower end of that extreme, which also happens to be where the 100-bar moving average on the 4-hour chart is at 149.72. So the buyers had their shot yesterday, couldn't get above the high, came back down to the swing area here. We'll see if the price can bounce off that level or move lower. That's the trading decision for the dollar versus yen. Finally, let's take a look at the sterling versus US dollar. And like the euro versus US dollar, up and down volatility in this currency pair. If I go to the hourly chart of this pair, there is a little bit of a bias more to the upside because the price is above the 100 bar moving average. But you can see how over the near term, the last 4 trading days, the the highs have been lower, just barely, but can't get above the previous highs. And that was true in trade here today. Couldn't get above yesterday's high, and yesterday couldn't get above Friday's high. So that gives puts a lid on the pair as well. And we're going to need to get above this area right through here in order to push the price up higher toward the 61.8% retracement of the last move to the downside. On the downside, we are holding the 50% retracement, or near it at 126.72. Let me take a broader look at this here. This goes from this high down to this low right here. And then the rising 100-hour moving average comes in at 126.63. And if we go back to the 4-hour chart and look at this area between the 126 and 128 area, roughly, we are in the toward the middle of that extreme. Well, just a little bit above it, as you can see. It's just, get above the 61.8% retracement of this last move to the downside will be the next target on the top side for this pair. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. 50% retracement, 61.8% retracement, 200 bar moving average on the 4-hour chart. It's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. My name is Greg Mikulowski. This is a Kickstart video for February 27th. Good fortune with your trading. Bye-bye now.